Hello, jammers! Welcome to Church Jams Now, the podcast where three former youth group kids and current music nerds deep dive into Christian music from the 90s and 2000s. It is I alone, your co-host, Kylan Savage. To quote the infamous Florence plus the Machine, it's the dog days of summer. I'm sure they're the ones that came up with that phrase. So, with it being the middle of summer, listeners of this show will know that we're all dads. We got kids. We got lots of summer activities. We haven't been able to be as consistent with our recording schedule as we are the rest of the year. But rather than not release something, we had a conversation, and we thought we should dig into our Patreon archives because we have a lot of great, I think great, interesting shows at our Patreon at patreon.com/churchjamsnowpodcast, where we talk not only about albums, but we have a little bit more general music discussions. So we thought it might be a fun idea to release one of our very favorite Patreon episodes to the main feed for all of you here. In this episode, we discuss when your favorite band jumps the shark. And of course, we talk about the origin of jumping the shark. I, of course, accidentally mix up Gary Marshall and Norman Lear, a fact that I've been incredibly embarrassed about since we recorded this episode. But you know what? We thought it was still worth it to get this episode out, to give you main feed jammers something to listen to get you through this Florence plus Machine time of year. Oh, I will say, if you enjoy this episode, we do have more nonsense like it at our Patreon at patreon.com/churchjamsnowpodcast. And for as little as $5 a month, you can get more episodes like this. All right. I hope you enjoy, and peace out, mon frères.
This one's for the platinum package jammers of Patreon. Now we're about to ramble, crack wise, and carry on. So let's all join in the joyful jammer cheer. And a self-aware disclaimer: there's no telling what you're gonna hear. This goes out to the platinum package jammers who put up with all of our glamour and dive into the trivia, though none of it matters. So give it up to the glorious, beautiful jammers. Even when we grab about grammar, we'll keep serving up hot, fresh content on your podcast platter. Thanks for keeping the lights on.
Welcome to Church Jams Now, Patreon edition. We're a lot more laid back. There are less F's given.
Kylan just turns it on too. Like, we just came from a main feed app. Kylan's professional. As soon as we go to Patreon, he just shits.
Yeah,
it's on a dime.
Fully do not care about the quality of this.
Wow,
That's
I hope
nice.
that communicates great value to our patrons out there.
No,
Yeah. and to Josh and I, like we feel great when you say that.
Listen, this is a purely transactional relationship.
Whoa.
No, that is all false.
Oh,
It's
okay.
all a dream.
Thanks.
It's
bud.
all.
It's all crazy.
It's all crazy.
It's all crazy.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. It's all
Welcome to
right.
Patreon.
All right. Here we are.
Okay, we are going to to how do people
Ooh.
talk? To
Kind of like
Just
this
like that.
usually.
Just like that. You're doing it perfect.
we are
Your first day on
going
the job.
we are going to discuss
Uh-huh.
bands
on.
jumping the shark. When our favorite band
when your
either
favorite band jumps the shark.
stopped becoming our favorite band or
Even more than that, actively becomes not our favorite band.
Yes.
They didn't just stop becoming our favorite band, but they just
Yes,
but they don't matter anymore.
that's true. Can we talk about the jump the shark metaphor of it all in the
Yeah,
Happy
I think
Days
we should.
episode?
If you would like to.
Well, of
Yeah.
course.
Give us
what
some
do you-
context, Kylan.
Yes, of course. So, I don't know how familiar our audience is with the Norman Lear led American situational comedy Happy Days.
Mhm. 1, 2,
But
3, 4.
it is a television classic, which I think still holds the record for the most spin-offs of any television show,
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah,
Probably.
because
Yeah,
you
I would think so.
So you had Happy Days, which was the OG. The spin-offs
Mhm.
were Joni Loves Chachi, Laverne and
Oh.
Shirley, Mork and Mindy.
I had forgot about Joni Loves Chachi.
Um, there are a couple others that I'm forgetting. Okay, guys, pause.
Kylan's just turning
Mhm.
this into movie jams now. TV jams now.
TV jams now.
TV land
The
jams.
Fonz
now.
and the Happy Days gang, Blanksy's Beauties, Out of the Blue.
Oh.
That's a lot of spin-offs.
So many spin-offs. There are
So many.
seven.
Were any of them?
Seven.
How many were successful?
I would
How many
say
were very successful? How many
I would
were
say
mildly successful?
Laverne and Shirley
Laverne and
was
Shirley,
probably the most.
Joni Loves
right?
Chachi, and Mork and Mindy, right?
Yeah.
Like, those are probably
Mhm.
like the most well-known. So in the television program Happy Days, there is an episode in which Arthur Fonzarelli, played by Henry Winkler, decides to do a ski jump in which he jumps over a shark. And that is, I believe it was a New Yorker article that talked about that phrase and brought that into like our common cultural lexicon as
Cemented it. Yeah.
yes, as a moment in which a television show ceases to be culturally relevant, or perhaps attempts too much like Icarus flying towards the sun.
Often to an extent that becomes farcical.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it is
Most of the time.
gone beyond its run.
So how does that relate to bands?
Well, like the Fonz, they often find themselves in situations of needing to traverse objects that have pointy teeth and big fins. No.
On a
Well,
downhill ski slope.
Yep. Exactly.
Hey, before we get into the band stuff, let's keep this on movie jams now.
Okay.
How would you guys rank the Jaws movies?
Good. I would rank them as good.
No. Individually.
Yeah,
I like
Jaws-
TJ.
no.
No, I like TJ's ranking here. I think
You
I'm with
have
him on
Jaws?
this.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Thank
Jaws
you, Josh.
2, Jaws 3D, and Jaws 4, The Revenge.
Can I start by saying, out of all the Jaws movies and all the spin-off shows that Kylan mentioned, including Happy Days, the only thing I've seen is Jaws 1.
Wait, hold on. You haven't, hold
That's
on.
great.
Wait,
Oh, Josh, I love it.
Wait.
Yes, you heard me.
Wait.
Nope, that's it. You
You
heard
have
me.
We're
broken my
waiting.
brain. Have you not seen Happy Days?
I've never seen a
Yeah,
full
that's-
episode.
The
I've seen
fuck
scenes.
are you talking
Wait,
about?
I've seen
Okay.
Not even one
scenes.
full episode?
No, never.
Have you
Wow,
at least seen
Josh.
the
Honestly, the most I've ever seen of Happy Days is the Buddy Holly music
Weezer
video.
music video, yeah. Wow.
That feels right. That feels
Yeah,
appropriate.
it's appro-
No,
yeah.
it feels entirely inappropriate. Okay, we are fully pivoting. The
Pivot.
only thing we're going to talk about on Patreon now is we're going to do an episode by episode analysis of Happy Days.
Through all 50 of those spin-offs. And
Yes.
After we go through Happy Days.
It's basically just a live react of Josh with Happy Days, where we're just
and me
witnessing
just
him
staring
watch
here
Happy
in the
Days
camera being like,
for the first time.
what do you think of this?
Well, I have seen
you
one of the-
understand that this was revolutionary to television within the 1970s, right?
Of its
I
time.
like this new format.
Right? Do you understand how important Norman
For
Lear
listeners,
was?
Kylan has pushed his microphone to the
No.
like
Listen,
inches
listen.
away from the camera,
This is
and
all on
his
video.
face
We're
is
going this on video
consuming
here.
the entire screen.
Okay,
It's scary. I'm
But-
a little afraid.
no. You should not be afraid because TJ, you have seen Happy Days.
I've seen
Oh, I
many
should be-
episodes of
If
Happy
I
Days.
have
anyone
seen-
should be
I-
afraid.
I'm now remembering, though, I have to say, I have seen a good amount of the prequel series, The Andy Griffith Show.
Oh my God, get out of here! Listen, do you not understand the importance of Norman Lear within American pop culture? Like,
Clearly, he
as-
doesn't.
as-
Kylan.
Is he
As
the
a whole.
restaurant owner? of
oh
Happy
my
Days?
God, I'm gonna drive to Fort Worth right now, and I'm gonna punch you in the face for that comment. Listen,
Oh
he
my
just
God.
died last year. He was 100 years old. But listen, do you understand how important he was to not only pop culture in America, but like racial politics and representation on television? He was huge because he not only created Happy Days, he also created All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Good Times, Maude, Sanford and Son. Like, he revolutionized how we see television.
That's true.
All right.
Norman Lear, Google.
Welcome to Lear Jams Now.
Lear Jams now.
Uh,
Oh my God.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. I'm gonna back off.
You
but
wanted to explain what jumping the shark was, so I think
I
you
did.
that.
Here we are.
I did.
Here we are.
It's important.
God,
yes.
fuck Church James Now. I just need to start a TV podcast. I'm so
Maybe.
over this. I'm so over talking about newsboys and shit. I want to talk about Norman
Well,
Lear.
But Kylan, that's the cool thing about Patreon is we're not talking about newsboys and shit. We're doing this diatribe. We're going off on this tangent just for you, buddy. And we're also talking about that heartbreaking moment where we realize the band that we sold our soul to
Mm-hmm.
is no longer really that important to us, which is a weird experience that does not get talked about, I think.
Yeah.
Like
And
enough, or maybe
assume-
even at all.
I assume it happens to everyone. Maybe there's someone out there that
I think
your
so.
favorite band has
Yeah.
always been your favorite band, but I would assume it happens to most people multiple times because people grow. Your tastes in music change. Sometimes
true.
it could be
Yeah.
for like we were talking about earlier. It could be for many reasons. The band isn't necessarily jumping the shark. It could be that they, I don't know, maybe they're retiring, and then you're just like you don't find their music as much as great as you found it before, and you start getting into other stuff. Or it could be that their current output has jumped the shark. So it's just whenever your favorite band just ceases to be your favorite band. But I think it's fascinating to talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So someone else will have to start because I'm just thinking about.
Oh, no, we
Norman
get it.
Lear.
You're
No, no,
stuck
I know,
in
I know.
Lear mode.
I'm really stuck, man.
Well, I do want
Josh-
to know. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
TJ.
Go on. No, I was
Well-
gonna say go on, Josh.
Okay. Well, I was we haven't we don't have a huge game plan for this peek behind the pop filter, but maybe we could look at. I'm curious what was like maybe your first favorite band and when that ceased to be, maybe, or one of your most recent ones, or just like what was the most, and then also was like the biggest one. Maybe what was the hardest one for you to be like, oh, I think I have to admit to myself, like either which one was there one that took a long time for you to finally admit it to yourself, and was that what all came along with that?
Hmm.
I can talk. I can start, but I've talked a lot. So
Yeah, I think
anyone wants
Josh,
to?
why
Have
don't
you okay, because
No,
this
you
doesn't
really
feel
haven't.
like good times, guys.
You're
Oh
saying
my
it
God.
doesn't feel like. Yeah.
I
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
No, Josh, you're not allowed to do that. If you've never watched an episode of Happy Days, you're not
You
allowed.
don't get to riff on
Hey,
Happy Days.
Uh-uh.
the thing,
No, sir.
I know enough about Happy Days to
You
appreciate
don't.
all the
No,
references
no, you don't know
in
enough about
Arrested
Happy
Development,
Days.
and that is
The
the
Ron
moment
Howard of it all.
they had. Yes, the Ron Howard of it, but they had Henry Winkler jump over a shark in Happy Days, and I mean
They
they did in Happy Days, but they
In-
did in Arrested
in-
Development, and when they
in
did in
Arrested
Arrested Development,
Development,
I was
yes.
like, just jump the
They're
shark.
doing it.
They did it.
Yeah.
Genius. So
So you're getting all your
I got the
references
full payoff
secondhand.
for
Is
me.
what we're
Yeah,
learning.
that's all I needed to know.
Okay,
hmm
fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
what
Josh,
you were saying
what
before?
what were those bands for you? What was like your earliest favorite band that became decidedly your unfavorite band?
My unfavorite band. I mean, I don't necessarily. This one doesn't have like a ton behind it, but I mean, I would have said probably in middle school, once I started kind of getting into my own music outside of just like DC Talk and Newsboys and Steve Kerr Chapman, that my parents, I probably would have said Thousand Foot Crutch, and they were probably my favorite band
Yep.
from like maybe sixth grade to around 10th grade. But in 10th grade, and this was a big one for me, it was when I discovered Project 86. And we've talked about this on the
Okay.
show.
Heard of them.
That Project 86 was a huge band for me and was my defining personality trait when Kylan first met me.
That's very true.
So,
That was one of the three things I knew about you.
that was one of my leading facts when people would meet me. You know, what's two truths and a lie? Project 86, my favorite band. Could be truth, could be a lie, but I'm wearing a Project 86 shirt, so it's probably a truth. So I had a few in my collection. Yeah. Well, to start out with that, I guess that one was a bigger one for me, and I think maybe has the most emotional baggage along with it. Not necessarily, but that was one like that was like I was in high school and I was like maybe 14 at the time, I guess, whenever like it, and that was like my first like felt like my adult band to like get into and
Right.
really helped shape a ton of how I viewed music musically and lyrically with Schwab's writing, because like TFK didn't really have a huge profound impact on me musically and lyrically, whereas Project 86 definitely did aesthetically, like the songs to Burn Your Bridges by artwork, and I was like reading Andrew Schwab's books and everything like that, and had all their collection. So and they were my favorite band, and I would have said so. Even I definitely did cool down on listening to them, because they kind of like went through after like some of the members changed in like 2009 when Randy left and Steve left and stuff like that. And their 2012 album was actually pretty good, but it was probably around 2012 whenever I fully got into Thrice, that I was like I was fully into Thrice, but then I was
Okay.
like, oh, I have to like. Before then, I don't think I thought about it at all, and I was like, yeah, Project 86 still, even though they weren't like really. I wasn't listening to them a ton, but yeah, that was like a big one to be like, oh, and that was more so because like Thrice had that as well, where I wouldn't say Thrice is my favorite band now, but I would still say Thrice is in probably my top 3. But I think Project 86
Okay.
fell further from being like they're not my top band anymore. They're not my favorite, but they're like top 3, top 5 still, to where it being like, maybe they're not top 10 anymore. I don't know. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Also,
What I find interesting about this, Josh, is that the way that you talked about this in sequence it wasn't there weren't these defining moments about these bands that fell from grace in your eyes. It was more that another band came and
Something
took the throne.
usurped
Yes.
Something
the
replaced
throne.
it. Yeah.
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 So
Well, I mean, Project 86 did
say more about
have
that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think a little bit of both at that time because Project 86 had lost some members. It had just gone to just Schwab. Like the original
Well, wait, back
rest
up,
of the
back
band.
up, back up.
Yeah.
What happened with TFK? Explain that.
TFK was, I mean, very close. I feel like I could have gone like TFK. I probably said was my favorite, but I mean, like Reliant K would have been like right up in the like maybe second place
Okay.
and like kind of all that
So
stuff.
there were a lot of bands kind of vying for the throne
Yeah,
at that
I would have
point.
said TFK if I had to pick one, but it wasn't like I was like
Mm.
my identity as a music listener is this is my favorite band.
Right.
Like I was championing them.
It was
Um,
less decidedly your favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I just very briefly take us on a tangent?
Is it a Happy Days tangent?
Is it
No,
shark
it's not.
related?
No,
Okay,
neither.
okay.
Josh, are you holding a wrench?
No. It's
Yeah,
What
no,
is happening?
Kylan, I'm glad you
it's
brought that
a-
up.
Thing-
I wanted to
Like,
ask this for a while too.
like either a fork and I swear to God, I have not listened to a word that you have just said because I
You've just
keep
been trying to
seeing
figure out what's in
this,
Josh's
like,
hand.
tool in your hands.
It's one of those like back scratcher things.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
you can like scratch your back.
Oh,
but I've
it's
just
got
been,
an
like,
extender too.
does.
That's
So
fancy.
it's got like
Okay,
the fun finger
okay.
grips, and I've just been, I have just like been using it, and I was like, I keep forgetting when I bring it from, like, oh, I want to take that. I'm like, I don't want it to be distracting, but it obviously was.
No,
Even just
well,
talking with my hand.
Okay.
I did try to like move the mic earlier with it to be like, oh, this is my hand.
okay. I've been fully distracted. Your favorite band currently is Thousand Foot Crutch. Is that what I've
Nailed it,
gathered?
Kylan. You've
Yep,
been paying a
that's it.
lot of attention
Yep,
to the
that's it.
right things.
Yeah, they haven't done a couple albums in a couple years.
Okay.
They haven't done an album in a couple years, but that hasn't swayed my fandom. I'm still front and foremost.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
okay.
Well,
So there were a
I'm
lot of
glad we
bands fighting
cleared
for the
that up,
throne. EFK was in it, and then Project 86 dethroned them. Was that more about you not liking TFK as much, or more about you liking Project 86 a lot?
That was more about Project 86 like really brought into like what music could be of like, oh, it's a whole
Mm.
aesthetic, and you have your vocalist who like is really into writing, and like you have these like he's a writer and like taking music a lot more seriously, I would say, than TFK
Mhm.
does, and just like it opened my world to that of like having your aesthetic as a band and like your I don't know, it seems like a lot more thought, and it was like felt more adult than
Yeah.
TFK.
That
So,
tracks.
Yep.
Yeah, so it
Got
had
it.
which I mean that was like I was like 14, 15, so it was like a big time for
Yeah.
that to be like, oh, whoa, this is I guess I wasn't 13. Maybe I was. I don't know. It was very young.
So then, fast forwarding to the Thrice moment where they took the throne, what would you say about that shift? Was it about Project 86 falling from grace in your eyes for certain reasons, or more about Thrice just kind of blindsiding you in a sense?
I mean, primarily it was getting
In a good
into
way.
Thrice and just being like, whoa, where is this?
Right.
Why haven't I listened to
This
Thrice? And
feels
this
like
is
a level up.
yes, a level up, and I love
Mm,
everything they're
mhm.
doing musically and everything Dustin's writing about, and like Schwab is a great writer, but also I like am really loving what Dustin is writing about and the way he's like, especially like
Mm.
putting in some like writing these like Christian songs or like has this Christian messaging, but like not like sneak it in and it's not like over the top kind of
Yeah, a
stuff.
little more
Like that was
nuanced.
it. Yeah, and so that was huge for me. So I think it was like that coupled with I think that was the push that I needed to be like. I mean, I guess I haven't really like felt about Project 86 the way I did before, and like had to like this has been my thing for 6 years now, though, where Project 86 is my
Yep.
favorite band. So I think I have to finally admit it and
Wow.
give it to Thrice. So that was one instance
Cool.
for me. That was the biggest one, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that that
it's interesting, right? Because there's a lot of genres. So it's like, do you only have one favorite band, or do you get to have different favorites in different genres? I think that's
mm,
an interesting part of this conversation. I think there's layers potentially. Like
yeah.
Josh, you could probably go down the maybe soft, like the more easy listening side of the street, and you could find some bands that would trace through your years as a listener, and you'd be like, this one dethroned this one, right? Do you feel like you'd be able to maybe draw a trying to think of the
Potentially, and this is something that Kyle and I talked about, and it would be a fun other Patreon topic. But I feel like I used to always be like a big favorite artist guy. Like these are my favorite artists.
Right.
But then, like as
Mhm.
I've gotten older, I feel like I'm more of like a favorite albums kind of guy.
Mm,
But I think I
mm.
could probably trace that back like different genres. But always was before like I could probably give you like list off my top 10 artists if you asked, because that was like I love lists, and then that was just how I thought of like, oh, I'm on board with all these artists all the time. And
Hmm.
then if someone, I can sneak someone in if they need to. But
Right. But I feel like too, like as the artists and bands that we love and connect to also get older, uh, they're like like as their discographies grow, they start to branch out into things that we don't necessarily connect with,
mm-hmm.
and it makes it easier to focus in on an album or two or three or four
Mm.
Yeah,
rather
yeah,
than their
That you
entire
really lock in with. Yeah,
discography.
yeah.
TJ,
agreed.
I'm curious about what you have to say.
Hmm. So I like the kind of narrative approach that Josh set a precedent for with this. I think I'm gonna mirror that. Um, for me, pretty early on, it was Reliant K for sure.
Yep.
Um, and I don't know that. And that's why Josh, why I kind of circled back and was really honing in on was it that each band did something to, you know,
To lose it or
actively
just get
move them out of their
supplanted.
throne,
Yeah.
or yeah, did somebody else supplant them? Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And so for me, the next band that kind of took over very decidedly, I would say, like there may have been some other bands that were kind of vying for the position, but maybe never landed in the throne. But the band that decidedly took their place was Showbread at the
Mm.
point that
That
No Sir
tracks.
Nihilism's Not
Yeah.
Practical
Man, let
uh
me tell you, I've been so
came.
looking forward to hearing more about
Hmm.
TJ's showbread history on the
I know. I
podcast.
know.
Yeah,
It's it's
it's
been a long time
it's
coming
It
on
has.
Fishers
shrouded in a
now,
lot of shadow and drama for sure.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, they were. I think basically, Reliant K was my favorite because they were this fun, high energy punk pop band, but like brought a lyrical savvy. They brought melodic sensibilities. They brought musicianship. It was like the full package.
Hmm.
But then Showbread brought something they didn't, which was being the weird provocateur artiste kind of band that was conceptual in a sense that was a little, you know, off the beaten path. They were avant-garde, they were weird, they were decidedly like strange to a fault. Like they wanted to make people a
No, not
little
showbread at
uncomfortable.
all.
No, never. That band, no. Um, and I think it was like when a lot of kids had their David Bowie moment, I think I had Showbread, right? Like when a lot of people were like discovering Bowie, even peers of mine, like in 2004, 5, 6, 7, were like really getting into weird kind of like art rock stuff that was on the radio, but it was like in the fringes. Um, I think I was leaning into a band that was modern, but was also doing a lot of those same things.
You're like, I don't want that art rock. I want that raw rock.
Yeah, yeah, which was basically the same thing, but yeah, it's essentially that was my version of it. And they maintained the throne for a while. It was one of those things where like As Cities Burn was like threatening to topple them, I think, constantly.
Right.
And they might scooch like one butt cheek into the throne. ACB might be like, "Hey, I'm the king now." But they never, I think, fully maybe dethroned them in my heart. Until I just decided to be really into Ryan Adams, and all of a sudden, like I
Yeah.
made a crazy left turn, and I was just like kind of Americana singer-songwriter guy, and I was really into, that was like my indie kind of Americana indie rock, garage rock uh era, and I stayed there for a while.
What year was that? Like, how long did Showbread hold the throne for?
Oh, I
How many
think
how many
they,
years defending champs were they?
yeah, good question. It's really hard to give a timeline, to be honest, but I would say maybe like mm, it's like 2006 to maybe 2005 to 2009, maybe. But the thing is, the like indie folk singer-songwriter Americana of it all was like building steam over that entire period. So
Right.
I was like I had Ryan Adams and other artists kind of bubbling up underneath the raw rock champions reigning on high
Mhm.
for a while. And then they finally, and I might have to go back to my records, to my library that I keep of this. I'm just bullshitting you guys. This doesn't exist. I would somehow try to find
I
like,
was very surprised when you started talking about that.
It's your memoirs, is what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
it's my memoirs. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. You've been working on them for
I
a
would
while.
try to find some kind of record of like me being at a show and feeling like, oh, this is my favorite band, or like, I don't know. Anyway, but I could probably find more accurate information on like when I made the shift to like, no, I'm like a cool Americana folk guy now.
Right.
Um, but it would have been around that time, like early college. And I think, Delta Spirit basically took over for Ryan Adams pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Adams became
checks.
the prince basically, and Delta Spirit became the king. So like he was the gateway, but then Delta Spirit took over and was just like
Yeah.
kind of
So then
the
my question
reigning
is,
champs.
who was the Revolution?
Mm.
I mean, come on, Prince and the Revolution.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on, you made a
No, I
Prince
like it.
reference.
No,
well, I guess.
yeah, I like
I
it.
mean, you
I
guys
no, I
both
was
just
I was
stared at
seriously
me
trying to answer your
like,
question.
No,
No,
Josh is bringing
sorry,
out the
no, the
wrench
bit was-
again. I was like, come on,
The
this
bit
is
was
like
great.
a perfect Prince joke. I mean, come
No,
on.
you nailed it.
I
I was
said who was
genuinely
Morris
trying to
Day
come up with an
at the
answer.
time. Okay.
I was racking my brain to think who that.
All
who that
right. Well,
band
this has
would have
been Church James Now Patreon.
No, hang on.
Big Americana
Does the revolution come
artist
after?
Prince, you know.
No.
Okay.
Prince and the Revolution were like together, and then they
No,
separated.
I know. I'm just trying to for the time for the like
for the Morris Day and the time.
peasant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to build out the analogy and try to figure out the timeline of it all. Does the revolution come after the prince has been made a prince, or anyway? But the point is, Dawes took over from Delta Spirit.
I've never had a bit fail so spectacularly.
I think it's because
on
we were
Church
trying to
James
we were
Now.
trying to get it to work
No,
on
I
both
know.
levels, though.
No,
of,
I know.
like,
I know.
Yeah,
this is how a coup
well,
works.
yes,
and
I guess
also
that
the
would
band.
count as failing.
Yeah.
We wanted it to work so bad we killed it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happened.
No.
We're like, no,
because
it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
It's
no.
good.
It was
I have
yes.
to make this work.
We all took it, I think, too seriously.
Yeah, no,
in
that
an
is what
attempt
happened.
to keep the bit going. Wow.
That is true, Kylan. Very true.
So
Oh my
Dawes
God.
supplanted
Yeah,
Delta Spirit
yes.
pretty quickly.
Dawes ended up taking over for Delta Spirit around, I want to say around 2016.
That's where the
when,
revolution
We're All Gonna
was. So
Die
they
came
all
out. Yes,
joined
it's
together
too
to
late.
beat
It's too late.
Showbread.
No,
no,
the bit's
it's
dead.
working. It works.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Kylan, it works.
Get that wrench
Josh is
out
brandishing his back scratcher for the
No, it
listeners.
works. There was
and it is
they had to
scary.
join forces to beat Showbread. But
Okay.
then after that, then Ryan Adams like, well,
Right.
I'm gonna take the throne, and then Del Spirit's like,
Here's
well, I'm gonna do it, and then Dawes is like, we are taking the throne.
where I think
They
the
saw
big
the vacuum
field
of power that they could
is
take.
because you guys
Yeah.
got too involved with court politics.
That's it. That's what
Unless
happened.
like the prince of it
The Prince
all.
reference. No, I know. That's exactly what happened.
Like you guys got
I was
way
trying to build a
too,
world.
like
We
Game
were
of
world
Thrones
building,
about
and
it.
you were just throwing bits out. That's the problem. That's what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad that this
We
is
got
on
we got a
record.
little too yellow journalism while you were a little too purple rain, you know.
There we go. There we go.
That's nice. Good callback. Circled back. So yeah, Dawes took over in 2016 with "We're All Gonna Die," and it's kind of Delta Spirit came back with some albums in 2020 and 2021, and they've been vying for the throne, but it's been kind of a back and forth between those two
Yeah.
bands.
It's been
So
butt cheek to
I
butt cheek.
want to believe that it's like a, even though the two-party system sucks, and I'm not an advocate for a two-party system, I want to believe that it's like this kind of balancing, like checks and balances of powers, where it's like
Yeah.
sometimes Delta Spirits,
Sometimes they win an election. Sometimes the other
right.
party wins an election. You know.
sometimes Dawes takes over, but yeah. So that's where we're at today, and it really, to go back to my question with yours, Josh, about like, was it that an artist sort of failed you or disappointed you, or another one took their place? The only one where that, well, no, I'll say the only two where that happened were just like me going in a very different direction spiritually than Showbread was going at the time, that they were kind of changing quite a bit as a band, and so it just didn't resonate with me anymore. And that's not to say
Right.
that necessarily they did anything wrong that I would even critique as a musician or as a music fan. It was more just like, oh, what you're talking about doesn't really land with me anymore. And so because lyrics are a big part of the music experience for me, as y'all know, that all of a sudden just like wasn't resonating in a way that it really, really did with me in that band for a long
Right.
time. And so the shift to Ryan Adams was like, oh, I like, his story songs and like the sort of atmosphere that he creates lyrically in a lot of his music. And so I latched onto that as I was kind of shifting away from what Showbread was talking about. And then Ryan Adams was problematic, and so I was like, all right, well, Delta Spirit.
Yeah.
But truly, it was also simultaneously that I thought Delta Spirit was just a killer modern American rock band, and then Dawes quickly after that was like very evidently to me like a band's band, and so both of those
Right.
Yeah.
bands kind of took the throne because they were just showing up in ways that I was like, this is really impressive to me and true. It felt real, if that makes sense. Have you guys heard the new Bon Iver album?
Sable Fable. Sorry, I stole your
Yes.
joke.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow,
I
that's
literally
so
just
good
said that
and
off the mic.
original, Kylan. I've never
How
heard that
dare you.
before. I love that.
Everything is peaceful love, you guys. So I'm not mad that you're stealing jokes, Kylan.
Ooh.
Everything is peaceful love.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna walk home. Actually,
Yeah,
no,
that
TJ,
sounds
can you
good.
tell us the short story on the new album?
I mean, it's great. I think my take on it from what I've read and interviews and such is it's this really cool look back to his For Emma Forever ago cabin days. He's like, Kylan, you'll appreciate this as a fellow sad boy. he's looking back at his like Sad Boy Cabin solo singer-songwriter days and honoring that with some excellent songs. And it literally comes as two separate records, one at 45 RPM and one at 33.
Yeah.
So the first part of this album is just the Fable or the Sable EP. And then it moves us into the Fable era, which is just in like being a little more triumphant and celebratory and happy and like opening up to himself and the world around him, and moving into the present moment. And we're seeing a little more of the production from more recent albums and themes that are a little brighter. And I just love that as, you know, a concept on an artistic level and as physical media that you can get that
Right.
sort of supports the idea of like a two-part story. It's
And
great.
it's cool. Yeah.
excellent.
It's cool that the vinyl does come in the two records, the 45 and the 33.
Yeah.
If I wanted to get this in physical media on vinyl or CD, you know I like both.
Yeah.
Is there a good place
You
for me
do.
to do that?
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think that exists.
Do I have to go to a
actually.
Bon Iver show and just wait at the merch table?
You have to
And
go to a
hopefully-
cabin
even
hope that
then,
they
in
haven't sold out.
Wisconsin.
They might sell out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, I
Okay,
think
tell me
I think
about
it
the
was like a
cabin.
geocache situation. But guess what? I have good news. You don't have to go geocaching through the woods of Wisconsin. You can go to colliderecords.com.
It's not a fable. I'm willing and able to purchase it.
But guess what?
That's great.
You will have to pay for the Sable Fable vinyl LP.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I know that's
You gotta
bad
pay
news.
for it?
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I
gotta
want
pay
to
for it.
support Justin in his endeavor, so I think
True.
that's fair.
But
Yeah.
good news, bad news, or bad news, good news.
Okay.
You do have to pay for it.
All
But guess
right.
what? You don't have to pay full price. Do you want to know why?
Sweet.
Why is that?
I've got a handy little life hack for you.
Fingers?
If you use your fingers, type in Church Jams Now at checkout. Guess what? You get 20% off your entire first purchase.
What?
So you can get Sable
That's
and Fable
incredible.
packaged together on multiple types of media, on vinyl, on CD, and get 20%
At 20% off.
Man,
That's crazy.
that's so good.
I
I'm
love
going to
it.
do that right now. If only I could wait for it to arrive and be patient, but I guess I'll have to.
It'll feel like award season when it comes in the mail.
Oh,
Josh.
it sure will. And you know what? Otherwise, other awards that are available, they got a good amount of the rest of the Bon Iver catalog
Yeah.
as well on the
Nice.
in
Yeah.
stock. So if you guys are missing stuff in your catalog, do some perusing.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Once again, you can fill up your entire cart with whatever Bon Iver or other things that you want from colliderecords.com. And if you type in promo code Church Jams Now at checkout, you get 20% off your entire first purchase. colliderecords.com.
Is this a fable, Kylan?
Au revoir.
No, it's real.
Problematic things aside, was there any that you had to just kind of wrestle with to be like, oh, like just like accepting like you're like I'm growing as a person and like I'm not in I have to admit to myself that I'm not as big into showbread as I once was, or with
Totally.
any of them, or was it pretty easy for you to just like move on and be like, yeah, I'm a Americana guy now?
No, it was really like it was really difficult because I felt almost duplicitous. It was like I didn't want to deny the part of myself that was like much more into, you know, indie rock, singer-songwriter kind of music. I wanted to really lean into that because that felt right and that felt real to me. But I also was very sad to like move away from the harder, like kind of post-hardcore raw rock stuff that I was so big into because it
Well,
was a
and-
part of my identity in a way.
And at this time too, it's also an interesting thing is that you were, I think this lines up that you were also in the Lonely Bones at this time, which was
Yes.
heavily Showbread inspired. So was that like,
Yes.
I assume John and Kat were also listening to Showbread too. So was it like a weird thing to be like, I'm not as into Showbread as I once was? Like you got to tell your friends, or like did that change like being in the band?
Yeah, it was almost like I was still into those bands enough to be in a band that sounded like that. especially as a drummer, I think it was easier for me to translate what I loved about bands like Showbread and like As Cities Burn. I would also cite as a major influence for Lonely Bones. And that was almost how I was able to make the shift without, I think, like losing my mind and being
Yeah,
really
you didn't have to abandon all of it.
despondent, because I was like, as a musician and as a band member, I'm still a fan of these bands and I admire them, and I'm trying to, find a way to emulate them and be inspired by them as a musician. But as a music listener, maybe I'm shifting a little bit, or maybe as a songwriter, I'm shifting a little bit. So it was like I could kind of keep one leg in and one leg out, kind of as that was happening. Also, just gonna drop some hot goss really fast
Ooh.
for anybody listening. It's highly plausible that the Lonely Bones will see a return in 2025.
The fuck, man? Okay.
This is a main feed up
What?
now.
I just had to. We're
What?
talking about it. You brought the band up,
What?
Josh, so you might see us come back a little
wow.
less lonely,
Oh my God.
but still the Lonely
Okay.
Bones.
Are you guys going to play a show with the truth about movie stars?
Maybe.
And Dale,
Hey.
sir.
Why not?
Hey, maybe T
Let's go.
Tams is going to make a resurgence. Let's do it. Come on.
Let's
Do
go.
this. It's rock
Let's
and
do
roll.
it.
What do you want?
Rock and roll. What do you want? Yeah.
Wow.
So for any sharp ear
Exciting.
listeners out there that care, that might be happening.
Josh's mom, this goes out to you. We're all getting our bands back together.
Yes. May all your favorite bands get back together.
Oh, that's true. If they don't stay together, get back together.
Yeah. Dude, I love that.
I love that. That's very cool.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
the band dynamic too, is like helping you along with it. That's fun.
It really did. And I actually haven't been able to acknowledge that as a part of that season for me until this moment, until we were talking about it just now. Like I'm
That
realizing
is
that
The
in real
beauty
time.
of this podcast.
Yeah, baby. I'm a multifaceted cinnamon roll of a musician. What can I say?
Damn straight you are.
That you are.
Okay, but
Which leads
But
us
from
to
one
our...
cinnamon roll to another, Kylan, we have yet to hear from you on this topic. You've talked a lot about Happy Days.
yes, okay, so Norman Lear, guys, I mean, it's
There's totally a reality that
gonna
exists
talk
that
about how
Kylan
he was your
had
favorite
not
band?
listened to anything
Norman
that
Lear
we
was your
said and
favorite
was just
band? No.
waiting for it to come back to
I've
him.
mostly been thinking about good times. Okay, I love the narrative structure that both of y'all have brought to this. And it makes me consider a lot of those moments for myself. So the big thing for me, like the big change, was Reliant K was a huge band for me, much like you, TJ. But then they got pretty quickly usurped by Taking Back Sunday.
Okay.
I
think this is
was-
interesting. Like, Josh had Reliant K up there, but TFK was still the reigning champ rather than them. We had them in the throne,
Yeah.
Kylan, but I went to Showbread. You went to TBS.
Yes, exactly.
I love this. This says so much about each of us, I think.
I think so.
Like, on a formative level.
And so Taking Back Sunday, like, pretty quickly became like if you had asked me at any point from 2005 to 2010, like, Taking Back Sunday was my favorite band. But there is a little bit of overlap between Taking Back Sunday and Death Cab.
Yep.
Okay.
because I think I the Death Cab and Taking
Which
Back
I
Sunday
love.
butt
I love that
cheeks
this was like
were right against each other.
where we would have said like all these bands like Project 6, Showbread, and you're Taking Back Sunday, Death Cab thing. It was like all around the time that we met each other, which is like makes it even more fun.
Yeah,
Because I'm like,
yeah,
I think
for
of
sure.
Kylan. Like when I hear Death
Yeah.
Cab, I think of Kylan. When I hear
Yeah.
Showbread, I think of TJ kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
So
Fascinating.
it's pretty
And
cool.
I will never
Wow.
actively listen to Project 86, but if I do, I'll think of Josh.
You're thinking me.
um, yeah. So, um, so Taking Back Sunday, Josh, you know this. New Again was a pretty like sharp decline for
Disagree.
how I know, I know.
How you feel?
I
How
know,
you feel?
I know.
And
Uh,
what year is that again?
2009?
2009.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I feel like '09 was a place
That was
of
the fall
shit,
off year.
I
Yeah,
think
for like all
so,
of
like
us.
for a lot
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
then
fascinating.
It is.
I know maybe we should do like a whole episode on
We
just
had
like
a 2007 was our
2009.
best year in music.
Yeah.
2009 was our worst year in music.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
'05, a lot was happening in '05, and then like '09.
Oh
maybe
three,
shit.
05,
That's so
07,
weird.
and then 09 and was just like what are we doing? But I mean, we were all what, like right around we were all
18
circling
and stuff
20,
like yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
That's a big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Again was really the moment that I was like, okay, so I bought that album the day it came out, and I was kind of disappointed with it. There's still a lot, Josh, I will say. There's a lot that I love about that record. And it was not until 2011 when their self-titled came out.
Yep.
That the Taking Back Sunday self-titled was my Phantom Menace, where I spent that entire year convincing myself
Your Phantom Menace.
that I loved that record, right? Because it's like original lineup.
Oh yep.
They're
yep.
like, they're getting back
Mm.
to what I really loved about the band, what I really connected with, and it just was not there.
Fell
Hmm.
flat.
But
Mm.
I so convinced myself.
If
I
I
was
can
like,
say, I'll say one thing.
please.
I think it's a great B-sides record. It
I
feels like
agree.
a B-sides record,
agree.
but I think it
Yes.
has some great songs on it. But
Yeah.
yeah. That's all I'll say. I want to hear more.
Um,
I love it.
fuck,
It's your
Dave?
Phantom Menace.
it
that's
is.
awesome.
It's totally my Phantom Menace, because that was the whole thing. Is like after all of this buildup, right? Like there's this expectation of what this is going to
What
be.
everyone wanted to believe. It
Yeah,
was,
yeah, exactly. It's like,
what it
oh
was,
my
yeah.
God, they got John and Sean back. Like this is what we've wanted for the last 10 years. And it comes out and it mostly sucks. Like they're like there is some good stuff about that record. But I just remembered not loving it, but thinking, okay,
I remember you playing
because
it for me and showing me stuff on it, like
I'm
when
like,
you were still
"Oh,
in
this
Phantom
is-"
Menace hype mode. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly
love
what
Jar
they should have
Jar.
done. Yeah, exactly.
He's hilarious.
He's secretly
Um,
the Sith Lord.
yeah.
Get it?
So the Death Cab stretch lasted quite a bit longer.
So when
Um,
did that begin again? Like when did it actually?
Well, okay,
change?
so Death Cab,
And was it
so
planned?
it was
Or-
so planned. Um,
Cool. Thanks.
I you guys know, like I have a lot of personal history with Death Cab. Plans
Hmm.
is one of my favorite albums of all time. I have lyrics from Transatlanticism tattooed on
Yeah.
my body. I would say Codes and Keys was maybe my Attack of the Clones. If we're keeping
I
the
love
the
it.
the Star Wars
can't-
analogy. I
I
was like,
can't wait to hear what's
like,
Revenge of the Sith.
I'm a little jaded, but like I get it. I get it. I think I now get the vibe.
Oh
It's
man,
like
we need to
happening.
start doing this more. I want this metaphor to be continued on the show.
Uh-huh.
For
In a
me,
studio far, far away.
There you
yes.
go.
Thank you for today was kind of the moment I was like out on Death Cab.
So even
Mm.
through Kintsugi, you still would have been
I
like you still
love
would have claimed
Kintsugi,
him.
dude.
I mean,
Yes.
I think Kintsugi's
Yeah.
really good. So you still would have
yeah,
claimed
I think
them
it's a good album.
2015. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it basically was like when Chris Walla left.
At the end of an era, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you for today. It was specifically, I remember hearing Gold Rush, and Gold Rush is a great song, but it's also got a
Yeah.
little bit of like boomer energy where he's just like, my neighborhood's not as good as it used to be. And I'm just like, well, okay, man. Like, you're definitely like getting close to 50 now. And I just, at this point in my life, I can't relate.
Yeah.
And it was around that album that like Ben Gibbard was honestly doing something that was similar to Adam Lazara in Taking Back Sunday, where the the biggest point of contention for me was like I feel like most of these songs I can't sing along to.
Yeah.
It was like,
The thing you loved about Death Cab was like it's hooky but still interesting.
yes, exactly. It's
And
like,
then it
okay,
lost that.
you're saying things that I can connect with, but also I can just belt this out.
You could vibe.
So Death Cab for like all of that time, like, you know, when I was at worship school, Ben Gibbard's melodies were so simple. I'm so bad at harmonizing, but they were the first songs that I felt like I could attempt to harmonize with.
Harmonize with. Yeah, right.
Because I knew those melodies like so well, like they were so ingrained within my person.
Mhm.
And then it was yeah, Taking Back Sunday, self-titled, and Thank You for Today by Death Cab. I was like, oh, I can't sing along to
Mm.
most of these songs. And so for me, then it got to a point where I was like, well, I don't really care about what you're saying. It could be really interesting, but most of this, I like if I can't sing along to it, I
Can't hook
can't
into it. Yeah.
connect to
What's the
it.
point?
And that's a
Totally.
total like vibe guy move, but
Surprise, surprise.
but that's like really important to me. And it really was
Yeah.
around the release of Thank You for Today that I really was able to start to articulate that. Like how important that was for me.
Yeah.
Because I felt
So
like
who
I had lost something, right?
totally
Like
there's a
Yeah.
huge grief around it, right?
a little
Because
bit.
at that point,
yeah.
you're like 8
You
years
have
in.
expectations.
Yeah.
And you're invested and you think like, oh, like these artists get me, these musicians like all collectively as a band know how to make the thing that I resonate with most. And then when they fail to deliver that, it's like a betrayal.
Right.
It's like, oh, you're not
And
who I
then-
thought you were,
Does it
which is crazy.
color So most of that happens when you're like, oh, this artist isn't where I'm at anymore now. But does that realization then kind of color the albums that you loved and connected with? Because then it's like, it's not like this is one of my favorite albums by my current favorite band. It's like, this is one of my favorite albums, but like, I love Plans, but I don't claim Death Cab anymore. Like,
Huh. That's
does it?
interesting.
It's a
Yeah,
good
no,
question.
no, I
It
think
could be
it
just
it it
slightly, but
speaks more to like where that artist is in their life, like almost
Yeah,
kind
I
of like
agree.
what TJ was talking about with Showbread and like theologically or spiritually or whatever,
Hmm.
like the things that they want to pursue as an artist are no longer things that I
That are
personally
compelling or
connect
resonant.
with.
Yeah, right.
And I still hold out hope that, you know, maybe I'll get to that point someday, right?
Or
Like,
they'll come closer to you, or vice versa. Like it could
yeah,
happen in a number of different ways, right? But you could be on the
right.
same wavelength
Well, because
again. You want to be
my
optimistic about that,
exactly,
that you can
because
get back
like,
on.
my like the biggest connection point in terms of that for me was like the National. Like I hated the National until Trouble Will Find Me came out.
Mm,
And that just hit at the right time for me in a way that I was able to go back through their discography and find songs that I really connected with. Um, because I had been told for years that the National's the greatest band, and I was like, okay, well, no, I mean, they're fine. But then that one moment like kind of clicked, and then I was able to kind of go back. So then with these bands that I ostensibly have considered my favorite band, uh, even though they've released so many projects that don't connect with me, I still do have that optimism.
mhm.
Um, although I don't think I'll ever connect with Happiness Is or whatever, whatever that
oh
Take Back
yeah,
Sunday record
Happiness
is.
is, and then the tidal wave, and
Yeah, I'm just,
yeah.
I'll still continually give them the benefit of the doubt, but what the most fascinating thing to me about this conversation that hasn't been brought up yet is when bands that you love sort of have that jump the shark moment. Um, like, how do you personally uh, consider that when a band that has created an album or a run of albums that you love, that you super connect with, like what do you do when their output of stuff you don't connect with exceeds the
Starts
amount
to, yeah, the
that
Mm,
you
scales tip.
do connect with? Because that was the
Uh-huh.
biggest thing for me with Taking Back Sunday. Because those
Hmm.
first couple records are so big. But at
Right.
this point, they've released like five more records that I just think kind of suck. Right. So, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
how
five
can I
versus
consider
like the
them
three that you like.
my
Yeah.
favorite band? Right. Like, yeah, and
Hmm.
that goes back
Yeah, I feel like
to,
that's connected to Josh's question about like, does a fluke of a bad album taint the other great albums that an artist put out? Like, it's a similar conversation or a similar point in the same conversation,
you know,
and it is really tricky because it's my gut response, like just instinctively without thinking about it too much, is like, no, like those albums are what they are, and like I still have the kind of pure feeling toward them that I always have. But if I'm honest, like there is a part of me that can't turn off the critic or the editor sort of as a
right,
listener that's
right,
thinking about the artist now through the lens of like the stinkers.
Right. Well,
Listening to a great album through the lens of the
yeah.
stinker albums, and that's
Well,
hard.
it goes back to what Josh was saying, like the conversation he and I had about being less of like a band guy and more of like an album
Right.
guy.
Album, yeah.
Like it's much harder at this point in my life to say like I have a favorite band. It's much
Mm-hmm.
easier to say like I have favorite
These
albums.
are my favorite records. Yeah,
Yeah.
regardless of
Because
the
I think
rest
so
of the
much
band's
of it is
catalog.
based right. Because like I feel like so much is based on how it makes you feel. And if you can access the way a record made you feel when it first came out or in its heyday, like a year after it had come out, and you were like, no, this is still my favorite album, or this is still a top 10 album for me. It's almost like, can you, as a music lover in 2024 that really just wants to give yourself over to a given album that was a top 10 album for you in 2009,
Mhm.
it's almost like, can you access that part of yourself or that version of yourself and think about the way it made you feel in 2009, not how do I feel in 2024 listening to this, and how do I feel toward the band
Mm.
as, old farts in 2024 making music
Right.
that doesn't connect with me anymore. Can I view them through this pure, like almost timeless lens that's just like in a container somewhere untouched by time and
Hmm.
reality? It's like it's kind of just protected from any of those things that could taint it. It's like
Mm.
that's the question I find myself asking, is like, can I get to that place in my heart, or like
Right.
with my ears, with my mind? Can I access that way that this album made me feel when it first came out, or those memories that I have associated with that album, like driving down the highway at sunset, listening to Into the Wide by Delta Spirit? That is a perfect moment. Like, that album is a perfect album because that was a perfect moment.
Right.
Now, if I listen to it, I'm like, hey, the mix on this isn't exactly right. But like,
Right.
can I keep those thoughts at bay, right? Does it, like, can I preserve the way I feel toward that album?
So then my
Hmm.
my
Fascinating,
question
TJ, as
to
always.
that is
Yeah.
like, how do you reconcile how are you personally able to reconcile those moments with a band that you may have considered like your favorite band of all time that is no longer your favorite band?
Yeah, it's like you have to relate to yourself in the past with a lot of grace and
Mm.
understanding, knowing that you were at the development level and in the place that you were in your life and with the relationships you had and the lessons you hadn't learned yet as a musician or as a person. Even like, you have to see yourself that way and be like, no, there's a reason this was my favorite album, and it was a good reason. And like, still just
Right.
like honor that somehow. Not to say that you can't still pick apart maybe why it could never be your favorite now.
Right.
It's almost like you have to
Hmm.
hold both at the same time. You have to view yourself as a listener at 15 and
Well,
also as a listener at 35.
yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
I think it
Which
can
is a really
also
hard thing to
help
do.
of like, even in the fact of like, especially as like band members change, like you can look back at like, oh man, this era when Chris Wallow was in Death Cab was like so good because it's not around anymore. Because if it was like he was still in the band
Mm.
and they were making records that didn't connect with you, I think it could maybe affect a little bit more. But you can, at least for me, like I can look back and be like, man, what a lineup of this time or this album,
Mhm.
and that makes it maybe
Mhm.
even a little bit more special because
It's
of
really
what has
precious.
transpired. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
right.
don't have it anymore.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I think we just got to the seed of what makes Church Jams Now successful, right? Like that we're able to come to some of these records with that same perspective. Good job,
Mhm.
guys.
Yep. Holding it all, man. Trying to anyway.
Okay. I don't know how y'all feel, but
Wait, so no, Kylan, you
what?
never told us what band took Death Cab's place. You talked about the National, but you didn't
Yeah.
explicitly say
And that would be
if
my
that.
guess for who you
Yeah,
would say
I was really
now
curious
if I
if you
asked
were
you.
gonna
Listen, I
own
don't
that band
think
as the
at
new.
this point in 2024 I'm comfortable saying who my
Oh,
favorite
come
band is.
on.
No,
Wait,
no, I
you're
mean
pulling
honestly,
a TJ right now? You're
honestly,
pulling a me?
yes.
This is
Yes.
awesome. I'm not
Yeah,
even mad.
yeah.
I'm
I
mad.
love it.
like
I
Josh,
I
protest.
don't
that
think I'm
you need to be mad. One of us should be.
Yeah.
comfortable saying who my favorite band is.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because
But when
I
I
love
ask,
this.
who's
there's
the first band that comes to your mind? You don't have to say, I'm standing behind this person, but who's the first one?
Are you saying that whatever I say right now is just it's a timestamp. It's a moment
Yeah,
in
it's just a
time in
timestamp,
which
man. You get to
this
you're a
right
changeable
now on July 30th, 2024 is my favorite.
not forever, man.
I can't say. I can't. I'm not
Hmm.
It's
comfortable.
Kesha. Just say it's Kesha.
Yeah, he wants to say it's the National, but he can't lie to us.
Or it's the
The
songs on
Nationals
Bluey.
is what he wants to be able to say, but it really is Kesha.
Hmm.
No, I I don't know, Josh, you kind of fucked me up a little bit last week when you texted me about like being more of an album guy than a band guy. Like
Yeah.
It like
that's
broke
kind
your
of thrown
brain
me
a
for a
little bit.
loop.
Do want to
Yeah.
talk more in detail. This is just a teaser for that because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am very
That's
fascinated by that.
that
Mhm. I do think that's an interesting conversation because I feel like I would have a lot of uh I could unearth a lot of things about myself and my listening habits and preferences over the years that would surprise me. And they would not line up. Like my favorite albums would not line up with my favorite artists, I
right.
think. So
Mm.
that's really intriguing to me on that level.
I mean,
'Cause I think they're
I think if we have to be reductive,
let's be reductive.
then
We love that.
yeah, then I would say The National because Trouble Will Find Me is my favorite album of all time.
Well, there you go.
But
And
I
they went through
I think it's a
some
good answer, man.
troubling years, but they recently just had a pretty solid album last year too, which helps.
they had two pretty solid
Well,
albums.
yeah,
Mhm.
but
last
Laugh
year.
Track was very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a
Yeah.
good answer, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, fine.
Do you have
I'd
any
be
other
happy
like
with
do you
that.
have any other
The
contenders that
National.
you're like, this makes
I
me
mean,
not
I guess
wanna...
I would still I guess to a certain extent have to say Death Cab because I only have two tattoos on my body, but there's a Death Cab lyric that I decided was important enough to my life to engrave on it
forever
forever.
memorialize. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I guess I still have to say Death Cab.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't love it. I don't love where I'm landing right now. I am fully pulling a TJ.
I love it. I think it's great. And maybe you can update us or like give us more
Well, and I think
context.
that that's cool that even though that they're not going in the direction that where you are or want to be, that they have so many records that it's still a solid enough case for you in
That stood
24 to
the
be like,
test
I
of
feel
time.
like I don't
Yeah.
know, I can't not
Yeah,
at
Yep.
least consider them. I think
I
that's
do
cool.
think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I guess my criteria at this point would be like if a band was playing a live show relatively close to me, like
Mm-hmm.
who would I think is worth the money to go see?
Yeah. That is a good way to frame it.
And it might be Kesha. Guys, no, I'm just kidding.
This has all been a backdoor pilot
yeah,
for you.
yeah, yep, exactly. Listen to In Defense of Kesha on the Please Repeat podcast network.
And keep an eye out for In Defense of Happy Days. The Norman Lear
Welcome to
story.
Happy Days Now. Yeah. I mean, I think The National would still probably top that list. So,
Cool.
all right,
Just all
I
you
like
did it. You got it out of me. I feel bad about it. This has been Church Hymns Now. You're already on.
That's
the
often how I
Patreon.
feel, Kyle.
No, okay. This sucks. Why do you keep doing
you're
this
really
show,
going to
TJ?
TJ.
Like, why do you
'Cause I
do
love you
this?
guys.
This sucks. I hate it.
You're learning things about yourself. It's uncomfortable.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I just want to make bits about how DC Talk sucks. I don't know. It sucks to actually engage with the material.
Engage with the content. Yep.
But we're proud of you for
Um,
doing it, buddy.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is gonna do it for us on this Jumping the Shark Patreon
Mhm.
exclusive episode. We would love to hear from you, Patreon subscribers. Who were your favorite bands that are no longer your favorite bands? Who jumped the
And
shark?
how do you
Was it an
feel about
amicable split? Was it
Mhm.
contentious?
Exactly.
Wow.
Also, please
it? Is
rate
it complicated?
1 through 10 your favorite Norman Lear sitcoms. I'm here for it. Let's
And
do
why
it.
is it Jaws?
Listen, like also, oh yes, also please rate all the Jaws movies because it obviously goes Jaws, Jaws 4: The Revenge, Jaws 2, Jaws 3D.
Duh.
Duh. I mean, obviously.
1, 4, 2, 3.
No,
enough.
one of my favorite like Hollywood movie things, whatsoever is there's a famous Michael Caine quote because Michael Caine was in Jaws 4: The Revenge.
I remember this.
And someone had asked him how he felt about because I think it also it came out the exact same time that he won an Oscar, and someone asked him how he felt about being in an Oscar-winning movie and Jaws 4: The Revenge, and his quote was, "I've not seen the film, but I have seen the house that it bought."
I love it.
And that's
a
one of
good
my
quote.
favorite. Yeah, no, it's perfect.
It's so real.
May all your favorite bands stay together. Peace out, Monfreres.
Peace.